Dan and Corey here, welcoming you into Libservative.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back.
Yeah, welcome in to another rousing rendition of Libservative, intellectual idiots fostering political and cultural literacy, and the world's smartest internet show. Bell the Bodysnatcher on the ones and twos. He, as always, is Corey Walsh.
He's Dan Griffin.
And, man, the culture wars are back, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I know we didn't want to talk. We didn't want to get into it a whole lot last week, but we have to talk about this WNBA situation because it's too hilarious. We're not gonna do it right now. We're gonna save it, but you know, bring your worst takes. Should we have a poll? Should Royce White and Enes Kanter go through with their intentions to enter the WNBA draft? Yes or no?
There is a way to add a poll on here, but how?
I know we haven't done one yet. You just let people tell us. Another thing we didn't have a chance to talk about a whole lot, Corey, is this whole thing where all of the comedians that essentially got Trump elected are now they've all completely turned on him at this point.
Yeah, they're like what the fuck. But well, I guess it's nice to it's in a healthy society, Dan. We should all be able to look at that and go, "Oh wow, you can change your opinion."
Israel would never have done that to us.
But instead, what they do is they take that snippet and attach it to that person as if that's the only opinion that person has or has ever had, and puts them into a little shoebox. And just thinks that's what they think. That's what they always think. That's what they're always going to think. And
I'm going to vote. See if it works.
Yes. Where do I vote at?
It fucking works.
Where do you vote at? Oh, you have to go to one of the streamers?
No, you just type 1 or a 2 in the comments. And it pops up.
You should have had both. I was going to make one. I was about to look the guy's name up before we brought up this part. But I was just going to make it yes and then also yes.
Oh man.
So but yeah, so it's just insane to me that like you watch people growing in real time because everyone's lives are archived entirely on social media. I'm not barring us from it. You know, we do this podcast every week. But it's like I'm sure you and I have had opinions on this show 4 years ago that we disagree with now. And you look back and go, "Oh yeah, no, I was dumb. I've learned more since then. And my opinions have changed." But yet, when you have these social media figures who 2 years ago said, "Yeah, I'll fuck with Trump," and now after seeing what he's done, they're like, "Oh yeah, no, I fucked up fucking with Trump." But everyone's like, "Nope, you made your bed. You got to lie in it now."
It's like when somebody apologizes and they're like genuinely sorry and they're trying to do everything they can, not just apologizing so they're not in trouble anymore like little kids do, but like they're genuinely sorry about something that they said or something that they did, and people just go, "Well, you never should have done it in the first place."
Right.
It's just right. Like, yeah, that's why I'm apologizing. Dude, asshole.
That kills me. Like everyone's like, "Oh, why can't people just admit when they're wrong?" Because they do. They get chastised for it.
Yeah.
There's a push-pull fucking tug of war thing to it, right? It's like I would like a society where more people don't have like this knee-jerk reaction to try to explain other people or some sort of narcissistic tendency where this happened because of you and this and this. Like people should be able to just go, "I fucked up. I'm wrong."
Well, now you're at a place where.
And the flip side is when someone tells you they're wrong, not everyone should have the knee-jerk reaction. Go, "Yeah, I told you so."
Well, now we're at a place where
I'm glad that you admit that.
An apology gets you double fucked, right? We saw that during, the height of the woke period, where somebody would say something that was considered beyond the pale for whatever group, and they would apologize for it. And now they're double fucked because they're not going to be forgiven by the people that they've supposedly offended. And now the people that were supporting you before you apologized are also going against you.
Yeah.
Because why did you apologize? You shouldn't have apologized for that.
Pretty much in a nutshell, not about being right or wrong, but like the trans community, when it comes to how they're kind of just doing their thing, minding their own fucking business. No one really had anything to say until the big corporations realized they could make money off of them. So then they were like, oh yeah, no, trans is right. Like fucking Target putting all this shit in the front. Like, what marketing scheme or business scheme for a company puts the merchandise for the smallest demographic in the country in the front if it wasn't to make them money?
Ew, gross.
You understand what I'm saying? You stand in front of a Target and then you tell me how many people who you think are trans that walk through that door.
Preposterous.
You're only going to catch the ones who like decided yesterday that they're transitioning.
Oh, perfect.
Right. And you might see out of the 3,000 people you see walking in and out of a Target on a day here in a middle-sized suburb city, you might see one or two. And yet they're being catered to in the front. And then what I'm getting to is those countries never gave a fuck in the first place. They just knew that would make them look good and make people happy because they're an ally so people will shop there. As soon as that wasn't fucking monetarily advantageous anymore, they fucking got rid of it altogether. So you put these poor people who already feel marginalized in the spotlight to make a quick buck off them, made them feel special, and then people who like half the country who supported them feel special for supporting them because they're on the side of the big corporation, so they must be right. And you made the other half of the country fucking hate them when they didn't give a shit in the first place. But now, because the talking heads are saying that the one side has to support it, the talking heads on the other side have to go, no. So then you put this tiny
Israel would never have done that to us.
Harmless fucking community in the spotlight to make a buck off of them. And then when you couldn't make money off them anymore, you just went out of here. Go on, get. And so now they're hated for literally doing nothing. And what made them give this false sense of hope and inclusivity just went peace.
I didn't mean for that to divulge into a trans conversation.
Well, I was trying to turn into a good segue for the WNBA.
Yeah, but
isn't that what we were kind of on?
We got to talk about the comedians first. But I guess we can start with this.
I guess you'll still talk about the comedians. Yeah, sorry. I want.
It's all right. Corey saw a squirrel.
Sorry about
and
that.
He chased it.
Let's continue with the subject at hand.
I love how we will always forever have Chuck Schumer to get us back on track, no matter what happens.
Thank you for your diatribe.
Anyways,
the comedians have gone against Trump.
The comedians, they flipped on Trump, but everyone isn't going to forgive them for that. They flipped on Trump. They went, we gave it a shot. Like, and then they're like, I'm a fucking comedian. Like, drink beers all night and write jokes. Like, what do you really want from me? It's shame on us for fucking actually taking their advice and listening. Even if we think things that they say are smart sometimes, they're still fucking comedians.
As always, they're right on top of it because now
they're observers. They're literally the comedians are the observers.
Now the thing to do is not only to talk about what a disaster the Trump administration has been for various reasons. I mean, pick your reason, whether it's inflation or whether it's war or whether it's just overall morale around the United States. The new thing to shit on, correctly so, is communism and the DSA crowd making their way up through the ranks of so many of these primaries. You got that video, right? You got the. Yeah. Is this the latest Protect Our Parks episode?
I think so, and I'm gonna have to listen to it. Not for Joe. I don't ever listen to this stuff for Joe, but I listen to it
Dude, it's so funny how little I actually listen to the Joe Rogan Experience for Joe Rogan himself. Like, I like Joe. He's a cool host, and like he asks a lot of the right questions, and he's a decently smart dude. But I always listen for the guests. Like, if there's a guest I don't have any interest in listening to, I don't listen to the episode. You know what I mean?
I agree 100%. So here's Shane Gillis.
I just love the caption before you even play the video.
It just says, "Is communist the gayest shit ever?"
Communism's the gayest shit ever.
It's the worst shit.
Somebody needs to look into how gay communism is.
But isn't it crazy that it's making a comeback?
Yeah.
It always does. It's a cycle. There's a
Why
cycle.
is Joe wearing sunglasses?
We cannot call it communism.
Because it's
Why are they all wearing
protective
sunglasses?
It's
Is that what they
protective
do
art.
now?
That would help a lot.
We're calling.
I don't listen to every
everybody
episode.
socialist.
It's like
communist.
these guys,
Like,
whenever they
healthcare
get
is
fucked
cool.
up.
We should have that.
It's normal.
Yeah.
That's not communism.
We should have
Communism is
healthcare
no
and
private
education.
property.
You should treat the entire country like it's a community. If you have a community, would you want the sickest person to fucking die who could be very valuable if you could like take care of them? And do you have the resources to take care of
Of
them?
course you should. We're
Take
a rich
care of
country.
them. Exactly.
Do it with libraries. It's no big
Exactly.
deal.
This is the problem with
We don't feel like a
capitalism.
community.
Listen to these
This
socialists.
is the reason why people turn on all these billionaires. They turn on them because why do you have so much when people have so little? But it's because it's the game. It's the game that they're playing. And you're playing the game too. You're just not playing it at that level.
Communism's the gayest shit ever.
This is the worst.
I mean, Joe's got that right in that is why people turn on billionaires
Mm-hmm.
because they're upset that they have all this stuff and we have none of it. But the issue that you always have with socialists and people that support communism is, what is the thing that brings people out of poverty? What is I mean, it's a one-word answer.
Capitalism.
No, I mean, yeah, this kind of the word kind of ties into capitalism, but the answer is wealth, right? So
Yeah.
you would
But what
think that
creates wealth
socialists
is capitalism, and capitalism has brought more people out of poverty in the world than any other form of government or any form
but
of
you would
economic
think
standard or whatever.
that socialists would focus a lot more on wealth creation in order to bring poor folks out of poverty, right? You'd think they would focus on wealth, but they don't. They focus instead of wealth redistribution, because they don't have the basic understanding that wealth can be created. Wealth can also be destroyed. It's not energy, right? It can be created. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
way easier. It's way easier to just move the wealth around a little bit.
Anytime you see a dip in the NASDAQ of 1%, there's someone who lost on their ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're watching people become millionaires and lose millions every second when you watch the stock market.
Many get bailed out though.
Yeah, if you're big enough. you
Corporations
just-
at least.
Yeah, the corporations do. And I guess if you buy the dip.
Yeah, that's kind of our point, or at least my point, Liberty, is that wealth is it's not a finite pie, right? You can bake another pie. Right? You just need the ingredients to bake the next pie. We don't have to split, we don't have to share one pie.
Oh, also, Liberty Twitcher, for anyone who's listening, we have a poll going on right now. Should Ernst Friedman and Royce White be able to join
Ernst
the W?
Friedman?
And
Is that-
Enes? I don't know
is-
how you fucking say his name.
Ernst Friedman?
Ens Freeman. Ens
Is that-
Freedom.
Is
That's
that
his name,
new-
Ens Freedom.
His name is Enes Kanter Freedom. But I like Ernst Friedman so much better.
Dude, it's because we have the fucking dual screen shit going on, right? Let me hide the vertical so I can see. Oh, now I can read it. It's Enes Friedman.
It's not, it's freedom.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Tune in
But I
next
like
week when Corey gets exposed for not watching basketball, apparently.
I just like Ernst Friedman so much better. It's maybe I'm just thinking of Milton Friedman, but it just sounds like a nerdy economist, like a Milton Friedman's drug addict brother who didn't make it in economics.
It's a very ugly thing to say.
Oh my god. Yeah, but I guess communism's the gayest shit. Do you
Miss
agree with
Freedom.
Shane?
That
Do you agree
communism
with
is
sh-
gay.
Communism's the gayest shit ever.
It is a little gay. We all just need to share.
It is gay. But
We
then
just need
at
to
the same
share.
time, like that's where my sticky point is with healthcare, right? Like, if I paid the same amount of taxes now and was offered healthcare, like, okay, cool. It's just I don't trust my fucking government to handle that efficiently or properly. Not one bit.
Under the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions. Thank you.
What's that all about?
That's what you should have said. Oh man, we still have 100% that Enes Kanter and Royce White should be able to play in the WNBA. I'm not going to say who voted.
Yeah, we're an inclusive podcast.
I guess we can move on to that now, since Corey went on his Chuck Schumer diatribe already.
Sorry about that. Let's continue with the subject at hand.
We have to stay woke.
So
Little
this
bastard.
is we're about a week behind on this topic. This whole thing got started because Sophie Cunningham was asked a question. She didn't come out and like make a statement. She didn't tweet. She didn't throw out anything on Truth Social. She was asked a question about trans athletes being allowed to play in the WNBA. And essentially what she said was, I don't have her exact quote in front of me. It's not important, because essentially what she said was, I'm paraphrasing, that the WNBA is a space for women. And that's all she said. And of course, I don't know how we are still in a place where Sophie Cunningham, for that statement, gets the amount of backlash that she got over the last 2 weeks.
What does the W in WNBA stand for?
I don't think anybody actually knows, Corey, because
I mean, is that a fair question?
Nobody can define that term. Well, I mean, normal people can define that term.
I do love basketball.
Go Bills.
But as a wonderful and miraculous troll job, former NBA star, not really stars, but decent, solid NBA players.
They made it to the big leagues.
Yeah, Enes Kanter, Freedom, and Royce White decided that maybe they'd like to try their hand at entering the WNBA draft for next season. And it's interesting because they said when did Enes Kanter do this? This is maybe about a week ago, maybe a little less than a week ago, and then Royce White slowly followed shortly thereafter. And the NBA or the WNBA essentially has had no response to this yet, because all they did was call the WNBA's bluff, right? Because it's this thing that a lot of folks have been talking about for a considerable amount of time, which is that this idea of inclusivity, when it's an invasion of women's spaces, is not just as simple as a word like inclusivity. Because you hear people say all the time, nobody's saying trans athletes can't play sports, right? Nobody's saying that.
Right.
Nobody's suggesting that. Nobody's saying that they need to be ostracized for any reason. The idea is very, very simple. It's very, very scientific. It's very, very biologically sane, which is interesting because these are the same people generally that 5 years ago were telling you, you better trust the science and go get.
Well,
your
and here's the
fucking
thing
COVID
too.
shot.
It's like, why are they allowed? Like, again, trans people should absolutely be able to play sports. I'm not a bigot. I'm not a fucking.
Nobody
homophobe.
disagrees
I'm
with
not
that.
anything
Nobody
like that.
disagrees with that.
But women, like, even right before this, the WNBA was finally starting to make it into people's social media algorithms. You're starting to see more merchandise for it now. Like, these players are coming into their own and being able to, like, fucking actually make money off their name and likeness. You're seeing Caitlin Clark do it now. Sophie Cunningham, and Sophie Cunningham was popping up before she made this statement because she was kind of the enforcer on the team. and doing the point thing, and everyone's like, oh, that's fucking badass, right? Like, I'm watching this shit, and like, it's their testosterone, which may be why it relates to me when they're getting in fights and doing shit. And I'm like, well, I might have to fucking watch this. Or when Caitlin Clark is just straight running the fucking house and just drilling 3-pointers and stuff like that. It's like, oh, this is actually pretty interesting. This stuff's kind of cool. And like, maybe I'll watch a game or two. And then it took them 30 years to get to that point, right? Of the WNBA making its own league. Why now can people just
being subsidized by the NBA, by the way.
And then now we're at this point where men are just claiming to be women to try to join the WNBA, when I'm sorry, maybe the trans community has to go through the same thing. Build your brand, and make it happen.
That's kind of the whole point, that the folks that are going against what Sophie said and what the WNBA stance is they always say, but no trans women are actually trying to join the WNBA. And it's like, okay, that might be true, but that's not the point. And the thing is, not yet, because I forget this trans person's name, but there's a trans woman playing in the French league that is just dominating the French league.
Yeah.
Right. So there's one playing pro basketball
just
in France
monster
right now.
And I don't mean that in any sort of negative like way. Like, no, like Savion Hitter, the freshman playing for U of M. There's a video recently of him running into one of like the blocks or whatever they're called.
Daddy, you're my daddy.
And he's just a fucking monster, dude. Like, he's just almost knocking this thing straight the fuck over. And he's a freshman.
Here we go. Liberty's got it. Liberty, hold on, Bell. Liberty's coming for your job. I don't know how to say this last name. Julie Tatar is a 34-year-old French professional basketball player and transgender woman who plays as a 6'3" center for the Monaco Basketball Association in France's second tier. She's not even in the first tier. I don't know how many points she's averaging or rebounds. Liberty might be able to tell us. But
she leads the league in scoring. She leads the league in scoring.
Bella got on the fucking ball now. He got some competition, some healthy competition. This is like a QB1, QB2. Fucking, like, did you see JJ McCarthy just lost his QB position? Sorry, this isn't a sports podcast.
No, it's not. Thank you for your diatribe. But yeah,
they're cheating, they're crooked, they're corrupt.
And the argument also is that Enes Kanter and Royce White are making a mockery of the WNBA. Well, they're not making a mockery to me of the WNBA. They're making a mockery of the WNBA's policy on protecting women's spaces. Mm-hmm. Right? You asked the question, what's the W in WNBA stand for?
Women's National Basketball Association.
That's what I thought, but you know, trans women are women. That's the whole deal.
Oh, that's frustrating. You're right. At the risk of sounding like a turf, it's like women, they don't go through the daily struggles of women.
Oh, trans women are trans women. That's okay.
Right. They're trans, and that's fine. But you're trans. Totally okay. You don't need to make a name for like other women. It's just live your truth, however you want to say it. Do your thing. But it's like you gotta forge out your own space, like women did. The women went through the suffrage. There's the actual pill. Or
at least trans women. Women can still vote. The last I checked.
Right, and it's like you gotta like the gay community, lesbian community, Stonewall, and all that. Like you just gotta forge it out. You can't just overpower and take over other people's spaces.
Bell, you want to bring up Royce White's announcement? I don't think Enes Kanter actually went on like a video and did anything, but Royce White went on Fox Digital and he made his official announcement. He said where he was taking she I don't want to misgender Royce White is taking her talents. Bell's laughing too hard to play.
Earlier this week I made the announcement. I'm transgender. I'm a woman. I identify as sometimes identifying as a woman for purposes of basketball, professional basketball. So I'll be declaring for the WNBA draft in 2027 as well. I mean, I think I'd be unstoppable. But I'm a team first guy. I'm a pass first kind of player. I do the little things. I led my team in all 5 major stat categories at Iowa State University. So I do a little bit of everything. I'll do whatever the coach needs me to do. I'll do whatever the girls need me to do. I think the WNBA could come out and make a definitive statement about guys with a pair of balls playing in the women's association. But hey, that'd be probably too much like right. So, and I don't want to be discriminated against. No, I want fair treatment.
That's the important thing.
I'm a black. I'm a young black, hopefully United States senator that would like a fair chance to participate as a sometimes identifying as a transgender woman athlete.
He's running. She was black.
He's running to women yelling. I tell them to shut up.
We have to stay woke.
He's running for Senate or whatever it say he's running for.
I don't know. I think so.
I think he's just doing this for a fucking political ploy then.
Yeah, what a jerk. I'm sorry. I think it's hilarious. And I hope they go through with it. I do have my custom Enes Kanter WNBA All-Star jersey being made as we speak. So I will be wearing that on the show at some point in the future. What's Liberty want to know? Is there a qualifier for trans or not? If male like plumbing is intact, is that still okay? I mean, I don't think that's WNBA's policy.
They don't know.
Just
that's the answer.
The WNBA is wasting all the money they made on the royalties for the last year, paying a legal team to try to dodge landmines is what they're doing right now.
I don't take no orders from no woman, by the way.
Good God.
Bell,
I'll be right back.
Bell, what were you going to say? I'm bringing you back in here.
Oh, I was just going to say, wait for the next video because she will show you what qualifies her as a woman.
I'm not going to lie. The video that Bell's about to pull up here, Royce White's wig is outstanding. She is like a black, beautiful Erica Kirk in that picture. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Go ahead and roll that, Bell. Because he got in a little fight with...
I had to do an interview with CNN at 5 p.m. Central. And around 2-3 o'clock, they messaged me and said, we're canceling the interview. We have other news. That's the universal excuse. We have other news. And I just, for the life of me, again, they're not giving black women a voice. Sometimes identifying as trans black women a voice on CNN. It just blows my mind. It's disappointing. It is. It's a huge disappointment, especially CNN.
They're not giving black women a voice.
That's so funny.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
We're trying.
What does Trump have to do with this?
You've done a hell of a lousy job.
Oh, man. It's so good. Because, like, the thing about it is, like, genuine. Like, it's Juwanna Mann. Like, Juwanna Mann, the horrible film with Orlando Jones. I didn't realize that was going to be a documentary when it came out in, like, 2002 or 2003 or whenever that film came out. Didn't realize it was going to one day become a documentary.
What's that all about?
I hope they go through with it. I really do. I hope that they actually put in their paperwork to enter the WNBA draft, because then, no pun intended, the ball is in the court of the WNBA to deny them, which they will. Because it's I think you said before we started the show, Corey, that they're saying that they're doing this in bad faith. And sure, they are, but that's not really the point. Like, what is the difference between Enes Kanter entering for the WNBA draft and somebody who just really wants to dominate at basketball that maybe was like a mid-tier college player and decides they don't want to go to Europe? It'll be easier for me to just follow the WNBA's guidelines, which is to just say that I'm a woman. I don't know that anybody will do that. The point is the fact that it could happen, right? Isn't that kind of the idea here? Maybe it never does.
Exactly.
Maybe it never does, but it could happen. They're calling out the ridiculousness of the WNBA's policy, and I'm here for it. And honestly,
or do we have to wait?
This?
Do we have to wait 15 years for all the young kids that are transitioning now, who've been on estrogen their entire life, to join when you can't really tell the difference?
I don't know how that's going to work. We're going to find out. That's a little
we don't know. They could all be like very sick. We don't know.
I will say this too about Royce White. His comedic timing is actually pretty fucking good, because the way he's able to keep that deadpan face the entire time,
and the monotone voice. What's that all about? Yeah. I thought CNN was.
I don't know. I do vaguely remember Royce White playing at Iowa State. I don't really remember much of his pro career, but I remember him being really good at Iowa State. I don't remember him in any interviews or anything like that. But I can't help but wonder if he's like intentionally making his voice even a little bit deeper than it really is, just for comedic effect. And to be honest,
Royce White,
the defenders of the WNBA's stance on this, they can't even answer the questions properly, right? Like we're back to Matt Walsh's "What Is a Woman" documentary from when the hell did that movie come out now? 4 years ago, something like that.
Maybe it's 3.
It's been a little while. We're still in the same spot where you cannot, where you have the empathy of these women overtaking just normal common sense, right? Because we don't want to cast anybody out. We don't want to make anybody feel bad. And it's proof positive right here, because Carrie Champion went on CNN. She used to work at ESPN, and you can tell that even she's uncomfortable having this conversation, because I think that she knows that what she's saying is absurd, but can't say that it's absurd. She knows that she essentially doesn't believe what she's saying. And you can tell just in the way that she's saying a lot of it. I'm going to bring this one up here, Bell, Bell's trying. Oh, Bell's trying hard. Uh-oh. The internet on Air Force One is not doing well right now.
It is not. There it is.
It's up on the screen. I'm going to get it ready too, just in case for whatever reason Bell can't make this happen. This has just become it's become a running joke now, hasn't it?
Sorry about that. Let's continue with the subject at hand.
I'm kicking you off this one.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I got it. I got it right here.
Thank you.
Appears to be performance, publicity stunt, whatever you want to call it. The WNBA commissioner said that player eligibility remains the same, and preserving the integrity of our game and ensuring fair competition will always remain among the league's highest priorities. How likely is this move going to advance the league's discussions here? What do you think about that?
I think that the PA, the Players Association, as well as the league, will probably be a little more clear about what they mean by women playing in the WNBA. I think, unfortunately, those two retired players were looking for some attention and trying to prove a point, and they may have gotten the attention and proved the point they wanted, but they've just added to what I believe is such a disheartening time for a league that's been around for.
She just admitted that they proved the point they wanted to prove.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean nothing? What happened? Where did our video go?
Changed.
I ain't changed shit.
You must have changed media asset.
There we go. No, I got it. All right, let's continue with Carrie.
30 years, correct? And it's still very young in terms of in terms of what a league should look like, a professional league should look like. And they have just gotten to the point where they finally have the attention that they deserve, that they've worked so hard for all of these years, and people are co-opting this message. Now, Pamela, I know you know this.
They're co-opting the message? They're not co-opting the message. they're pointing out what a ridiculous policy the league has to start with. And let me also point out, because you made this point too a little bit earlier, Corey, that this idea that the WNBA is finally getting the attention it deserves. Let's talk about why they're getting that attention. They're not getting that attention because of the basketball that's being played on the floor. They're getting that attention because it started that way, because they've got the most popular player they've ever had, as you mentioned, in Caitlin Clark.
And now Sophie Cunningham.
People that love Caitlin Clark also love Sophie Cunningham, because Sophie Cunningham is kind of Caitlin Clark's Bill Laimbeer. If Sophie Cunningham is Isaiah Thomas, I'm sorry, if Caitlin Clark is Isaiah Thomas, then Sophie Cunningham is Bill Laimbeer. It was heading in that direction. But why does the WNBA get all of this attention? The WNBA gets all of this attention because of the sort of high school girl attitude that the women in this league have, that everybody that all the women, I shouldn't say all, but the Angel Reeses of the world and others are jealous of Caitlin Clark's success, right? We have Sophie Cunningham getting fouled really, really hard, and we have black women in the league coming out and yelling about white privilege.
Well, that's just it. But even that stuff I feel like is kind of okay, because what's one of the reasons why people like sports? Why is the game so important? Why is all this different stuff? Because storylines are created. It's finally starting to create its personality and have its storylines created. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Oh my God, those two play each other tonight. Do you think there's going to be a fight? And then it just gets completely washed away with just silly politics. Gas prices must be too high for this to all of a sudden be an issue again.
Your point is taken from the storyline perspective. It's true. The problem is, what are the storylines? The storylines are like girls in a high school cafeteria that are jealous because the prom queen, all the boys like the prom queen, right? That's the storyline. And that's a caricaturesque picture of women's sports. It's everything. Like this league perpetuates every single female stereotype that women are so tired of fighting against. That is the reason why this league gets the attention that it gets. It has very, very little to do with the fact that Caitlin Clark makes a lot of threes. It's, you know what I mean? And like, so yeah, Carrie Champion's right. It's finally getting attention. Is it getting attention for the right reasons? I don't think so. And yeah, Royce White and Enes Kanter making a mockery of the WNBA's trans player policy is silly as well. However, it's also a really, really good point as to how ridiculous your league is. And
it's not the players' fault.
Most of them know, but the players at the players that have shown jealousy for Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark are the ones that get the headlines. The 98% of the other players in the WNBA that just want to go out and play ball.
It's almost,
who knows who they are.
What they're doing is making it more like the WWF. You're watching it, like people watch it for the drama, not necessarily the acrobats.
I wouldn't compare it to the WWF. I would compare it more to like the fucking Real Housewives of Fuckerville or whatever the hell it is.
Ooh,
that's what I would.
That one. What's that one on? Is that on the Scramble channel?
Real Housewives of Texarkana.
But when this league started, these women, it was sweat equity. It was for the love of the game. They were making maybe $15,000 a year, and they had other side jobs. They were doing it because they loved to play basketball, because there was no professional league for women. And so now we have people changing the entire conversation, and they don't deserve this. It's really unfortunate. And the true fans, the fans who have been here from the beginning, not these flyover fans who just joined, who are causing the ruckus, are really disappointed, because there's some excellent basketball being played.
Okay, so she talks about how the league has grown. And then what does she do? She disparages the quote-unquote flyover fans, the new fans, if you will.
The ones who are making it grow.
Exactly. Yeah, she like you can tell that she knows what she's saying is bullshit, but she can't admit it.
By these ladies, and they will continue to keep the main thing, and try to quiet this narrative. Oh, what is a woman playing in sports? I think we shouldn't even answer those questions. I understand Sophie felt like she had to say something, but there's no way in today's political climate that you can answer a question like that without someone else giving you some push and some shove about what you're really trying to say.
Look at that picture. That is probably the ugliest picture I've ever seen of Sophie Cunningham.
What she's really trying to say? Carrie, why don't you tell us what Sophie Cunningham was really trying to say? Because I think she made her point abundantly clear. Yeah. Like we shouldn't even be having these conversations, according to Carrie Champion. Okay, well then why don't you go, Carrie Champion? You've got a little bit of pull. You used to work at ESPN. I'm sure you got some ties in the WNBA. Why don't you go talk to the WNBA and tell them that their policy on trans athletes entering their league is fucking stupid and it's making a circus out of our league? Why don't you do that? But she can't say that because then she'll be canceled by all of the people that are doing things like shitting on Sophie Cunningham. And then the other side of this is interesting as well, because the people that are on Sophie Cunningham's side are upset with the fact that Caitlin Clark isn't backing up Sophie Cunningham, where when Caitlin Clark is kind of taking the Michael Jordan angle of, you remember the Michael Jordan quote?
He just
Republicans buy shoes too.
Yeah.
He didn't get involved. He didn't get involved in it. And that's the same thing Caitlin Clark's doing. And I think that's okay too.
Right.
Like because she's a hooper. She wants to go play ball.
I think Sophie Cunningham does too. She just made a statement. She probably didn't think it was going to blow up like it would.
She didn't even make a statement. She answered a question.
Yeah.
If that question were never asked, this wouldn't be happening right now. Royce White and Enes Kanter wouldn't be making a mockery of the entire situation, which, by the way, I support them in making that mockery of the entire situation. Let me be very clear about that. But it wouldn't be happening.
You're right.
But because somebody had to ask Sophie Cunningham a gotcha question, you've made your bed. You did this. The WNBA did this. Anyway.
And because they just didn't have just a definitive answer.
They're going to deny them, and then they're basically going to be they're going to deny Royce White and Enes Kanter and basically become hypocrites, I guess, at that point.
Unless they straight up say that transgender people aren't allowed into sports.
Yeah.
Or the WNBA at least.
I hope they go through with this, and I hope somebody drafts them.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
I will watch. I can tell you that.
You would start seeing dunking in the WNBA.
Yeah, we'll see if we'll see how the supporters feel then, because they're the ones who've kind of put themselves in the situation where all you have to do is say you're a woman, and now you're going to have a situation where if Royce White and Enes Kanter actually suit up in a WNBA basketball game, people are going to go, well, they're not really women. Well, now you've already put yourself in the catch-22 that all you have to do is identify as a woman, which they've done. They've fulfilled your criteria.
Right. But now there's bad faith. So now people who might actually try to become trans in good faith, as sloppy, even if it's as sloppy as fucking Caitlyn Jenner's transition.
She's beautiful. Stop.
If they're trying to
preposterous
just transition, they get alienated, only further disparaging the trans community. I feel for them. They're just a poster child. They're just tossed around like rag dolls.
We'll pull down the poll. 100% yes for Enes Kanter.
We got one vote.
Royce White.
Real quick before we pull it down, just type in 1 or 2 into the comments, and it will count your vote.
No, there's hundreds of votes in here, Corey. I don't know what you're talking about. Hundreds.
I know. I want 200s. 100%.
All right. In the meantime, we can move on away from that hilarious situation. We have an Iran war update, Corey. We have lost the Iran war. for what seems like the 49th time. And it finally seems like the Trump administration is acknowledging the fact that munitions are not great. In fact, allegedly, I love when all of these alleged stories come out of the White House. We don't know if they're true, but they seem true because it would just be hilarious if they were true. So we decided to believe them. That Donald Trump absolutely tore Pete Hegseth a new asshole for the fact that munitions are way down. Essentially, why haven't you handled this yet? I thought you were the Secretary of Defense. You should have handled this.
Secretary of War.
That's fine. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mislabel Pete Hegseth. But the munitions are low. We have no chance, which we knew months ago. Actually, 20 years ago, people were warning against attacking Iran for these very reasons. But now we're in a spot where the Iranians know we're low on munitions. And so we are now in a
Trump
situation.
Said it himself.
Yep. So we are now in a situation where the deal proposed by the Iranians is worse than the original memorandum of understanding from, I don't know, time runs together, whatever it was, 3 weeks ago, a month ago. I don't remember when the MOU first came out. But right before that, of course, you know, we live in Groundhog Day when it comes to this war. Trump went back on another threat to blow away Iran after the GCC countries said, yeah, please don't, because if you do, we're the ones that have to deal with the fucking fallout. GCC countries being the Kuwaitis, the Saudis, the Emiratis, the Omanis, all of these nations. So now, what do the Iranians want? They want all $300 billion to rebuild up front. Everyone can pass through the Strait of Hormuz except the U.S. and Israel without a fee. And the U.S. must recognize as you know, we've heard the neocons put them for the longest time, the quote unquote terrorist groups that is supported by the Iranians as legit Iranian partners. Can we call it official yet that Iran is a global power? I mean, are we at least a regional power? Is anybody, dude? They're a global power. They control the Strait of Hormuz. They've controlled the Strait of Hormuz since this war started. They did not prior to this.
So, and based on that, you know, based on that result of this war, you could probably say they've controlled it for a hell of a lot longer than that. They just allowed it to be open.
Yeah, they could have taken control all they wanted, but they didn't want to be the aggressors. Fucking weird, right? Yeah, that's the spot we're in right now.
How do we now have? Yeah, we just somehow just a country just heavily sanctioned. Like, is it just American exceptionalism that we just assume that they didn't have this capability because
you little bastard?
We sanctioned them for 50 years.
I would say that it's both I would say more than American exceptionalism. It's this. It's the fact that the boomer cons and the neocons, which are essentially the same thing, but not every neocon is a boomer, although most are. They don't understand modern warfare. Because what did we hear for the first, whatever it's been now, 4 months of this? I know what are we on? Month 6, month 8, whatever. The first 4-6 months of this war. They have no navy. They have no air force. They've been completely obliterated. They have nothing left. That doesn't matter at all.
No.
In today's warfare, especially
drones,
Middle Eastern asymmetric warfare. It makes no difference whatsoever. In fact, it hasn't mattered in a long time. Why were we able to roll into Iraq, take down Saddam's government in whatever it was, 3 days, 4 days, but had to stay there for 20 years? Same thing with Afghanistan. Why were we able to roll into Afghanistan
or Vietnam?
Sure, Vietnam too. Commit all of the short missions to gain territory that we wanted, but never hold it. Right? It's really, really easy to invade. It's really easy to invade. It's really, really easy to, in this case, bomb the shit out of whatever infrastructure you feel necessary. The problem you always run into is holding it away from insurgents who think that their existence is under an existential threat.
When you're government folks, you got nothing to lose, right?
It's why we haven't won a war since World War II. That was the last war that was conventional. It's been all guerrilla warfare since.
Mm-hmm.
And you've never gotten a regime change through bombing alone. But for some reason, this was going to be different. So now, look at the situation that we're in. In February, when this started, March, the goals were to take out Iranian nuclear infrastructure, which had already been done 7 months prior.
And then quickly became regime change.
Then change the regime. Then when those two things didn't happen, it was to reopen the strait that was already open prior to doing the first two stupid things that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's basically just been that. And then it went back to Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. The regime change thing kind of went away for a little while.
And then they lost the nuclear weapon capability, and it was back to just opening the strait because everything else was taken care of.
But here we sit with Iran making making the demands that we're making, that they're making. We have no cards left to play. I want you to give me a real coherent reason. And I know you can't, Corey, and it's not because you're stupid. It's because there isn't one. Give me a real coherent reason why Iran shouldn't race to a bomb right now. What's their incentive to not race to a bomb right now? You took out the Ayatollah that had a fatwa against them against nukes in the first place.
In the middle of a diplomacy, mind you.
Oh yeah, we were the ones that did the Pearl Harbor this time a couple of times.
Yeah, we did Pearl Harbor to them a couple times.
So actually it was worse because we weren't really in negotiations with the Japanese. Although I guess we kind of were over the oil, right? Because we put the oil embargo on them, and then we were and then there was some negotiations surrounding it, but not to the same degree that we were trying to end this conflict this time. Or even prior, when we were trying to be in the middle of negotiations between the Israelis and the Iranians, deciding to bomb them, and not just bomb them in the middle of negotiations, right? Getting them to a place where the Israelis knew where their leadership was, so that they could bomb them in the middle of negotiations. Actually, drawing them into an area so that they could be bombed and killed.
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder why this isn't popular. But seriously, I have to know, is there actually a coherent reason other than some religious reason for the Iranians not to rush to a bomb right now? If I were them, I would.
Why wouldn't you?
Can I say something controversial that I've said on this show before, but maybe some of our listeners haven't heard?
Sure.
I'm totally in support of the Iranians rushing to a nuclear bomb. Not because I want them to have a nuclear bomb, but I've said multiple times on this show that the best case scenario is that nobody in the world has a nuke. We all know that's impossible.
Israel would never have done that to us.
The second best case scenario is that everybody has a nuclear bomb. And it's not, I don't
getting bullshit proxy wars.
Yeah, I don't think it's very difficult to see the logic behind that. There are two things that stop war. Either nobody has a nuke or everybody has a nuke. Those are the only two feasible
and anyone
options.
Who's pro Second Amendment should understand that, because they think you need more good guys with guns. If everybody has a gun to protect themselves, you're going to stop seeing people trying to go into places and shoot people up.
Because that guy that you're trying to shoot,
because what we have is a soft target. Well, our military industrial complex and our government looks at countries like that as a soft target and goes in and wreaks havoc and commits carnage and does all sorts of crazy shit. And we at home pay for it. Not sometimes with actual like blood and lives, but a lot of times it's just money being printed, devaluing the dollar.
Mm-hmm. You know who might agree, Corey?
Who?
The DSA. I know I put this in the in the description as if this was going to be our first topic. We got a little bit sidetracked, so I do apologize, but we'll get to it. The right now the rise of the Democratic Socialists of America. And we talked about it a little bit last week because we did our show a couple of days after Abdul El-Sayed won the Democratic primary for the Senate seat here in Michigan. And I did point out that the meltdown by the Israel lobby crowd, the neocon crowd.
Communism's the gayest shit ever.
That's a new soundbite from Fox News.
The Fox News crowd absolutely melting down over Abdul El-Sayed winning that primary. Now, I don't support Abdul El-Sayed, but I don't support Abdul El-Sayed not because he's a fucking Muslim. I don't give a shit that he's a Muslim.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing I said about Mamdani. It's the socialism part.
Yeah.
It's the socialism part that I have a problem with. But dude, in the last week, it has gotten worse. Do you have any idea how many times I have heard Hasan Piker's name from out of mouths that probably didn't even know who he was 6 months ago? Until they got the marching orders to take down, to try to take down Hasan Piker and scare people into this belief that he is some horrible anti-Semite who wants to turn the country into this socialist dystopia. Now, the second part of that might be true.
Involved in 9/11.
But here's my take on Hasan Piker, because I feel like it's just relevant right now. I'll start by saying that I think he's a fucking idiot. That's first and foremost. I think he's an idiot. He has no idea what he's talking about economically. But there is something interesting about him. I was having this discussion with friend of the show, Jeff Mell, that sometimes fills in for Corey when Corey's off jerking off or doing whatever he's doing, going to the gay brothels or whatever.
A blanket is a blessing.
Hasan Piker, to me, as we sit here right now, is very much similar to like the left-wing Trump that the left has been pining for so long. Do I think Hasan Piker will someday become
I always
United
kind of
States?
pictured him the left-wing Joe Rogan.
Nick Fuentes? I thought you were saying Nick Fuentes.
Oh, okay, or Nick Fuentes.
A little bit closer to Nick Fuentes. But I compare him a little bit to Trump for a few different reasons. The number one thing being he's unapologetic. He will say the controversial thing to get the eyes on him in the same way that Trump does. He's really, really good at branding himself in the same way that Trump is. And he's an economic dipshit in the same way that Trump is. But the left, at least from a political perspective, I know we just talked about the whole WNBA thing and the Sophie Cunningham thing, and the way that sort of transgender argument seems to be just holding on, just seems to just kind of be sticking around. But politically, when you look at Hasan Piker and you look at the candidates that he's in particular supporting for the first time, they're starting to come around to the stuff that sort of made Trump popular on the right in the first place. Number one is they're not real big fans of the establishment Democrats the same way that Trump, it's been fucking 11 years now, but when Trump first came down that escalator and did that first debate, all he did was shit on Republicans. That's all he did was shit on Republicans for that first, year, all the way up until he was eventually elected in 2016. The DSA crowd's doing the same thing. Hasan Piker's doing the same thing. They're not apologizing for the things that they say. They're not afraid to say the politically incorrect thing. Yeah, that includes when Hasan Piker said that the United States deserved 9/11. We talked about that a little bit last week. I think you and I knew what he meant. I'm not going to defend what he said, but I think you and I knew what he meant when he said it. Shouldn't have said it. But what he meant was basically the Ron Paul, there's a such thing as blowback, right? When you run around the globe, spreading around your hegemony all over the place, you might receive some blowback, and that's exactly what 9/11 was. He did walk that back a little bit, but he says the things that people are thinking that they don't think they're allowed to say. Does that make sense? Like that's exactly what Trump did in his 2016 campaign. There's a reason why you sort of had the silent, remember people talking about that silent Trump voter after Hillary lost?
Right.
Because the entire nation was shocked. Trump supporters were shocked that Trump actually won that election. I was surprised. You were surprised. Bill was surprised. We all thought Hillary was a shoo-in to win that election. It's not quite the same now because a lot more people are catching on to that game. But Hasan Piker, one of the things I do respect about him is that he is unapologetic. He isn't afraid to say the thing that young socialist voters think. Do you have anything to add to that, Corey?
No, it's exactly as you just read my mail. Like
nope, that's it. I'm gonna drink another beer.
Well, no,
Time
it's just,
for a little
yeah,
drinking pool.
That's exactly who Hasan Piker is. He's just out there speaking his mind like anybody else. It's just this radical leftist angle versus Trump, who just, I don't even know what Trump stands for. He's a communist, but he's also like tries to claim he's just a populist. Hasan Piker seems to at least have a little bit of principle on the left end of the spectrum when it comes to like socioeconomic policy, but yeah, he's there.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Corey goddamn Walsh.
That wasn't the drop I was looking for. Where's the fucking one that I was looking for? Is that on the other one? The both involved in 9/11 one?
Yes.
Oh, it is on the other list. That's why I couldn't find it. God damn it. I ruined it. I ruined that joke.
For me to take a position like this, I'm a warmonger, both involved in 9/11.
Oh, man. I'm interested to see where this goes, right? Because I don't support socialism. I don't support the DSA. I don't support Abdul al-Sayed. I'm not going to go to the polls and vote for him, even over Mike Rogers. But what I do respect about this crowd, at least so far, is the fact that, like you said, Corey, they are principled. They have found a way to speak to the young voters in a way that nobody's really ever been able to do. I mean, Trump did a little bit.
Again, like these are people that like we just don't disagree with because they're leftists or anything like that. Like they're like Jimmy Dore is like, I agree with damn near everything you're saying. It's just your social economic policy.
When you listen to Jimmy?
Yeah. Or even Abdul or Hasan, like they're like, yeah, our government fucking sucks. It's spying on you. It's like, yeah, you're fucking right. They are. There's a government overreach happening. Yeah, there fucking is.
What if we, dude? What if we said
and then like racism is bad? Well, shit, I agree with that too. And then
what if we said a multitude
now to
of
fix
times.
it is now to fix it is more government, and it's like, whoa, pump the brakes.
Nope, that's right. What we've said a multitude of times is that today's American left and libertarians are they're right there trying to like it seems like they're almost trying to bust through this wall to get to each other, to have a coalition. But the wall, you know what that wall is? That wall is
the solutions.
Understanding of economics, man. That's the wall. That's the wall. Like libertarians have climbed way over it and are like running to the finish line. And they're looking back going, where the fuck are they? Because instead of climbing over the 4-foot wall, the American leftists are trying to dig a hole 600 feet down and then dig a hole back up on the other side of that wall. They just can't quite get there.
The Keynesian, I believe it's Keynesian economics.
Keynesian?
Yeah, Keynesian, whatever.
That's what we have now.
That's what we have now. Yeah, where they think that the government should be involved to help stabilize it.
Yeah. It's
and that's what leads to the big ass corporations that everyone gets pissed off and bitchy about, because it wouldn't be 5 or 6 banks right now running this shit if you let them fail.
Mm-hmm. And other protectionist policies that stifle competition, yada yada yada. We might do a little bit more of a deep dive into those types of economics when we do our little interview tomorrow night. We're not gonna carry this live, but I'll pimp it while we're thinking about it. We are gonna be talking to Justin Ferguson. God damn it, Joshua Ferguson. I know a guy named Justin Ferguson. That's why I said that.
Turd Ferguson.
God damn it! Now the name of his podcast is slipping my mind.
The Hourly Struggle.
The Hourly Struggle. Yes, I'm sorry, Josh.
He's gonna be listening to this and just being like,
"Ew, gross."
I've had a few too many beers. He's his podcast.
That's a very ugly thing to say.
Seems quite new. It's very good, very libertarian minded. It's going to be a blast of a chat we're going to have with Joshua tomorrow night, and we're going to release that sometime next week. I'll make sure I pimp that again at the end of the show, and hopefully remember his name and the name of his show when I do it. So what do we have next, Corey? Do you have anything else? We have more, don't we? We can't be done yet.
Yeah, what do you got?
Tyler Robinson defense admissions?
I don't know shit about it.
Well, it's being pushed. So the Tyler Robinson defense came out with and Bell made a good point by putting Mark Levin up on the screen. We do have a gratuitous Mark Levin rant to end the show with. But the Tyler Robinson's defense came out with a response to the prosecution's preliminary findings. And the crowd that wants you to believe the Fed narrative, which is that Tyler Robinson acted alone. That's him in all of the camera footage. That's him on the roof. He's the one who fired the rifle. The FBI's narrative is 100% true. What they're spinning this as is that the defense essentially admitted Tyler Robinson's guilt. That is a gross misrepresentation of what the defense did here. The defense did something that, at least in the state of Utah, I can't speak for any other state. I don't even really know my own state's laws and the way this goes. But essentially what the defense did was made the case in their statement that what the prosecution presented during prelims did not meet the criteria for a death penalty case. That's it. That's all they did. They're trying to help their client because they're setting it up to where if Tyler Robinson is convicted, that he can't get the death penalty. As an attorney, as a defense attorney in this situation, that's the right way to go.
Yeah.
The way that they're misrepresenting it is that I'm gonna completely butcher this, but the way that they're setting this narrative up is that within the filing, the defense used a bunch of language that implicates Tyler Robinson and admits guilt. But all the defense is really doing within that statement is utilizing the prosecution's language in order to refute it, if you actually go through and read it. So, the Fed sloppers like the Benny Johnsons of the world and others are presenting this like, see, look, they're admitting that he was on campus that day. They're admitting that he went there to kill Charlie Kirk. That's not what this filing says at all. All it says is what you've presented as the prosecution is not enough to warrant a death penalty case. That's it. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Are you excited for the Candace Owens
Andrew Wilson?
With Andrew Wilson?
I don't know. I might listen to it.
Dude, I'd be so much more excited if it wasn't on fucking Patrick Bet-David. Like, how does he always swoop in? How is it always Patrick Bet-David that swoops in and gets these fucking debates?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't care if Vinny and Adam aren't there to make fools out of themselves.
That's fair.
I swear to God, PBD just surrounds himself with morons so that he can feel smarter. That's my take on it. He should have us on then. I mean, we're idiots. But I think we present.
I guess if you're listening,
Adam and Vinny,
David, have us on.
after I just shit on him.
I feel like that I could probably hold my own against fucking
Adam Sosnick and Vinny. I don't even know his last name.
I don't know his last name either. But I feel like I can hold my own against theirs.
Yeah. I do think, so I do think Andrew Wilson is absolutely going to fucking take Candace Owens to school because I have my issues with Andrew Wilson. I'm sorry. He just feels like a douche. Like he just feels like the guy in high school that got picked on and like finally is starting to peak. And it goes back to his high school reunion just to show them all.
Isn't he the one that like there was the whole thing with like trying to open a jar on the show or something and he couldn't do it?
I don't fucking know, dude. He's a good debater though. He's pretty solid at what he does. I give him credit for it. I will give credit to his skills as a debater, which is not Candace's forte. It will be entertaining. It'll be a completely mindless waste of time, but it'll be very entertaining.
Oh yeah, nope, I was right. That's Andrew Wilson.
He couldn't open the jar?
Yeah.
What, did
There's a whole
some
thing
trans
about
woman
it.
open it for him?
No, Dan, it was a woman.
What's that all about? For me to take a position like this, I'm a warmonger.
That's a very ugly thing to say.
All right. Shall we get to we do have to do a show tomorrow night.
Don't you have a Mark Levin?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Let's get to the gratuitous Mark Levin rant. I'm sure a lot of people have heard this already.
Look at his dumbass face.
Tucker's made fun of it already.
Preposterous.
Dave Smith's made fun of it already. Lots of folks have already made fun of this because it's just another example of what an out of touch boomer piece of shit that Mark Levin actually is and what a caricature he is, which is why we like to feature him a lot on our show, which is why we like to have Mark in studio as often as we do. Mark, chill out. You should be happy, as you tell young people to be for their $20 burrito in the clip that we're about to play. You should be happy to be here with us on any day. Sorry, I changed the screen, so you're gonna have to throw that back up there again, Bill, if you're able to. Oh, that'll work. Or do we want to look at Mark Levin's ugly face being this big?
No.
There we go. That'll work. I like that one. All right. We're circles. Go ahead and roll it, Bill.
What the our society? Where is our
That's a drop
mentality? I want to talk about the greatest generation versus today's young people. Okay? I got to thinking about this over this taco debate on the internet. That's how pathetic things have become. The greatest generation endured the severe economic scarcity of the Great Depression during their youth, followed by massive global combat and home front mobilization during World War II. Over 16 million Americans served in the military, facing intense physical danger, hundreds of thousands of casualties, strict civilian rationing of food, gas, and clothing. We sit here with a war in Iran against an enemy that has killed thousands of Americans, maimed thousands of Americans. I remember a time when America was saying, oh, let's destroy that country, destroy that government. You don't get to kill thousands of our fellow citizens, military or civilians. You don't get to try to assassinate our president. You don't get to threaten us with potential nuclear weapons either. Now it's a debate. Should we take them out? Shouldn't we? Are you a neocon or a warmonger? Is this a war of choice? We don't even have a draft. Could a draft even work with young people today?
He's like offended that there's not a draft.
World War II today? We're whining about $1 of gasoline. Well, it went up 60 cents. What are we going to do? Mildred, what are we going to do? Well, I don't know, Frank.
Mildred.
I don't know.
Mildred.
Affordability. Over 16 million citizens are in voluntary enlistment, leaving their homes years.
Go ahead, Corey. Sorry, Bill. I threw yours up there, Corey.
Oh, perfect.
Families live with constant anxiety, receiving telegrams reporting wounded, missing, or fronts resolve families for years at a time. One hellhole they went into after another, including members of my family. Troops face brutal conditions across global fronts, resulting in more than 670,000 American casualties and hundreds of thousands of deaths. Families live with constant anxiety, receiving telegrams reporting wounded, missing, or killed loved ones. The vast majority of us are utterly unaffected personally.
He went to war.
Our families, by what's going on in Iran with our troops. It's going on way too long. Way too long. You know, the price of gasoline and the price of a taco now, it's just crazy. You know, this has gone on long enough. Are we going to the movies tonight? I don't know. Should we see a play? I don't know. Is football on TV yet? I don't know. But this has gone on way too long. You understand?
Dude, I'm going to start by just saying this. That is a perfect characterization and
of a fucking boomer.
Caricaturization of not just a boomer, Corey. You forgot the other half of the equation. A boomer that wants to say that our generation is entitled.
For me to take a position like this, I'm a warmonger.
How dare you not want to go fight a stupid war for another country, or I should say, in another country that didn't attack us, for another country that drags us into idiotic regional conflicts over the last
constantly. Did you see what to go off on a little tangent? Did you see the whole shit with the that recent, remember when, like, if everyone remembers, like, was it a couple weeks ago at the G7 when Trump had to like get off the Muslim given plane and have to hop on another plane, and he ended up sneaking into a catering cart to go get onto a C-32 or whatever to get shipped away in that, and he left his whole staff on the plane that was supposedly going to be shot down. Caroline Levitt quit a couple days later. Marco Rubio was on the plane like, what the fuck, bro? Which is also funny to me because we take their planes and allow them to invest hundreds of billions of dollars in our economy, but we're supposed to be afraid of Muslims.
Yeah, so Mark Levin saying that we shouldn't be upset over a $20 burrito because the greatest generation fought World War II is among the most out of touch, idiotic things I've ever heard. And what makes it worse is the fact that he's in the generation that's in between the two generations that he's talking about that never had to really do any of that shit.
He just reaped the benefits of the greatest generation and squandered it.
I don't know how many of the greatest generation are left because they're like in their late 90s at this point. But if there are any that are like coherent, that are still around, and they hear an asshole like Mark Levin say what he just said, I would be offended by that. Because here's the thing too. Hold on. Let me finish with this, because I feel like the member of that greatest generation that might hear Mark Levin say that would say something to the effect of, yeah, I feel like I fought that war to get a win so that the generation of my grandchildren and great-grandchildren would be able to have easier lives and not have to pay $20 for a fucking burrito.
Or be sent to endless wars.
Right. But do you think Mark Levin thinks about anything like that? Do you think boomers that watch Mark Levin think anything like that? No, you young people, you just want to eat your avocado toast and have your expensive TVs. Meanwhile, you need to be more grateful. You need to be more grateful. You can't afford a house. You can barely afford to put gas in your car to go and work at the job that doesn't pay you enough money because inflation just keeps going up. So any raise that you get doesn't make a difference anyway. But because we don't want to go fight a war on behalf of a foreign nation over something that's not even happening.
And to blame the generations, not to blame the problem itself of it being a bullshit war. Because I got some numbers, Dan.
Sure.
Right after 9/11, American Red Cross mobilized 60,000 trained disaster volunteers alongside an extensive relief effort that ultimately involved 57,000 team members over the course of the response. The Salvation Army, approximately 39,000 people helped. The emergency trade volunteers, another 3,000. So that right there is over 100,000 people. And then on top of that, there was a nationwide surge of volunteers of roughly 10% of Americans engaged in specific new volunteer actions immediately following the attacks. That's 30 million. So the number is already bigger than World War II. And then on top of that, it climbed to as high as 30% of volunteer rate in America. And then on top of that, another roughly 200,000 Americans enlisted in active duty military.
That's what I was going to ask.
Immediate
That's what I was
aftermath.
going to ask. And what did we do?
We used all of this to go into a 20-year war. But here's the thing. The support for that war from the American people was about as high as it was after Pearl Harbor.
At the beginning.
At the beginning, 80-90%. Like, go get those bastards. Fuck them for coming after us, because we didn't understand. 3,000 people died, at 9/11, and like no one really knew what America was doing behind the scenes. That's why also I think Hasan Piker's statement's kind of bullshit when he says, 9/11 deserved it. We deserved it or whatever. But it's like, no. Americans will still stand up and fight when they feel like the fight is worth it. Look how many people volunteered either on the front lines, being a Rosie the Riveter, or just straight up ready to go to the front lines for a war because another country attacked us. But when it's a bullshit ass war that we have no business being in, Americans are going to be against it. They're pissed. They're pissed when their gas goes up $1. When a tank was already a 15 gallon tank at $3 a gallon, that's $45. When it goes up $1, that's $60. If you got to fill up once a week, that's fucking $60 to $100, in fucking gas that all of a sudden you have to spend out of pocket. And then not to mention all the other shit it trickles into when it comes to the gas that has to be used, that the cost has to be absorbed for food being transferred to the grocery store. When gas has to be used to transfer shit to the fucking fast food joints that you're going to. When the gas in your house to keep it warm or cold, or the gas that's being used to power the plant that's keeping your house warm or cold goes up, you're paying a lot more in a nickel and dime here and a nickel and dime there, and you feel it. And on average, you're probably spending another $100, $200 a month, and that's a fucking bill. Or that's money to be put away for a rainy day fund. Or that is money that could have been saved towards a house that the people now can't afford to put towards a house. And then they're called entitled for being upset about that. What the fuck is that?
And it's almost like
that's what pisses me off the most.
And it's almost like if you could,
boomers.
and it's almost like if you could convince the American people, whether you're lying or it's actually true, if you could convince the American people that there actually is an imminent threat, it's wild how Americans are actually willing to mobilize. You know, this idea of, could we even have a draft now? No. Mark,
Who the hell do you think you are?
We couldn't have a draft over this war because I've said it a million times. I mean, I know I'm getting on the upper end of draft age, although they keep moving it back. So who knows? I would go to prison before I would go fight this war. Take me to jail.
Yeah,
Fuck
this
you.
war, absolutely.
I'm not going to fight this war.
If we didn't bomb them, you know, on the 12-day war, and all of a sudden that Iran just started trying to invade our borders, and they said, well, you need to go fight for the homeland and you need to be drafted, I'd sign up right away. I'm going to protect my homeland for my kid. But I'm not going to be going over for this bullshit. No, fuck that.
To continue the strait being closed, to continue, you know, say you did decide to go fight, or I decided to go fight. What are you going to fight for? Like, tell me what I'm going to fight for. And I know what the boomer cons are going to say. They're going to say, well, we're going to stop Iran from getting a nuke, to which my question would be, I want you to explain to me what would be so bad about Iran getting a nuke. And I know what they would say to that. They would say, well, because they'll use it. They'll make some unfalsifiable statement, right? Because I can't falsify that they would use it. But we all kind of know that they wouldn't. They would use it as a deterrent, the same way that every other nuclear country since 1945 has used it as a deterrent.
Mm-hmm.
And people forget this. We're the only ones who have ever dropped nukes. They don't forget it, but they don't think about it in that context.
Right.
Of like, we're the only ones that ever drop nukes. And it is very, very, very debatable as to whether or not we should have done that. Now, there are good arguments.
And the
on both
only
sides of that
reason we
debate.
haven't dropped more is because other countries got them.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. I mean, it's in historical context, you know, like that's what I like when people ask me like what presidents did pretty decent. Eisenhower was able to deter the military industrial complex and not drop nukes when he was the only one who had them. And then Truman and his warmongering craziness, he didn't drop them when other countries had them. We grew up in a generation where it was just a known fact.
Truman was before Eisenhower.
I'm sorry. Then who?
Truman did drop the nukes.
Truman dropped the nukes, but then after that, he didn't continue to use them because he was the only one with them. But then Eisenhower was the first president to not preemptively use them just because other countries had them.
Correct.
I got the two backwards. Sorry.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
That's actually it's very important context. Thanks for mentioning that I got.
Listen, I've got to give a clue here now. I don't want any more bullshit anytime during the day.
Good God. I'll be right back.
Oh man, I you know what's funny is I don't know a single human being that actually watches Mark Levin's show other than me, who watches it for comedic value.
Yeah.
I know a couple of people who
if I don't know what to watch, I'll just flip back and forth between CNN and Fox News all the time.
It is pretty fucking hilarious.
Watching them being outraged about the same topic, but just having the opposite opinion. It's just like, it's just, they're so vehemently fighting about it for that day until it moves on to the next topic.
And I can't imagine why they do that, Corey. Because you'll go out and argue with your neighbor about it. Mm-hmm. Your neighbor is your enemy because they don't wear a mask or they voted for Trump Or they voted for Kamala.
Or they got the vaccine. Or they're pro-abortion. Or they think women should be in the... Or they think trans women should be in the WNBA.
Dude.
Or they think that migrants should have fucking human rights.
Assholes.
Or they
You little
believe in
bastard.
the Constitution. Yeah.
He's a jealous little bastard.
Like, everyone's getting
man.
too unified on these flat cameras. Let's make it about trans rights again.
I don't think we answered what is an Islamist because I don't think we know.
An Islamist.
Just a buzzword. It's just
like
a buzzword.
Christianist.
It's
or
just
Jewishist,
another
Hinduist.
buzzword. It's just another buzzword to scare boomers of brown people. That's all it is. Jake Lang was in Dearborn again the other day.
Oh, did you see this bullshit about like all these AI slap videos of bikers going to Dearborn?
Oh, really? No, I did not.
I kind of want to like August 16th. There's supposed to be a huge biker rally in Dearborn. And what
We
day
should go
is
down there.
August 16th? Yeah.
That would be Sunday.
Is it a Sunday?
It would be this Sunday, right? Tomorrow's Friday. It's the 14th, 15th, 16th. Yeah, be Sunday.
Or maybe it's is it the 16th or the 18th?
I hope it's the 16th. I like Sunday better.
Yeah, but I'm supposed to take. Well, I didn't tell him I was, but I was thinking about taking the kid fishing.
I mean, what's more important, going to talk to bikers in Dearborn or?
Well, that's the thing is, like, I might know some of them, and I'd rather just not know that they went to that because I'd be like, God damn it.
That's okay. I mean, fuck, I got bikers in my family. Maybe they'll be down there. Hey, what are you doing down here? Well, I don't know. What are you doing down here? I'm here to point out what an idiot you are. But isn't it so interesting though with the Hasan Piker and Abdul Al Sayed talk, how weird it is, how quickly people forget, and how weird it is that it feels like 2003 again. Like it feels like
I know,
9/11.
it's
It feels like
insane.
9/11 just happened, and like we're supposed to be afraid of the Muslims again. It's just absolutely insane. We lost Bell again. We got to be afraid of the Muslims again.
The Muslims. It's so
Dirty-
funny too,
them
right? Because
Arabs.
like these communist Muslims, Muslims are so terrible and dangerous.
Hezbollah!
yet are being embraced. What does that say about the Christian white politicians that are being offered? And they just seem like a viable alternative.
The funniest thing to me is that, like, if you remember back to 2002, 2003, 2004, 5, 6, remember the idea of like we had to be in Iraq and we had to be in Afghanistan because we had to fight the jihadi radicals over there, so we didn't have to fight them over here. Well, let's just say that those people were correct. Obviously, it didn't work then, did it? Because now they're here and we have to
blew
fight
up
them
all
again.
their homes and they had nowhere else to go, so they came here.
It's just like, it's just so asinine. It's so, you can't make it up. It didn't work. We fought them over there, and now
They didn't show up until we
have
pulled
to
out
fight
of
them over here.
Afghanistan. Thanks,
Jew
Biden.
hater.
I don't know what you were up to.
My 67 Corvette. Who do you love most in the whole world?
Oh my god, dude! It's just, I mean, I would love to go down to Dearborn for some kifta and some shawarma. Be good. Good shit.
I'll hit up the McDonald's.
I saw some fence slap bullshit about this person that was like, it was a tweet that was totally a bot. But the tweet was, I used to love shawarma until I found out and I realized that they slit the animal's neck and read the Quran over them while they bleed out. And I've never had another shawarma since.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, that's the same that they do with kosher food. So,
I mean, similar.
They slit the throat. What do they read? They read from the
Torah.
The Torah.
I don't know if it's exactly the same, but It's essentially the rich.
Similar.
It's essentially the ritual killing of an animal.
Yeah, well, that's what kosher meat is. I think it's almost the same ritual.
Very successful, very rich.
Oh, Bell's frozen. Bell would have known that answer.
Yeah, he would have. Dude, that internet on Air Force One has been atrocious tonight.
They might have been shut out of the sky.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done with the studio. We're gonna get everybody in
now,
here.
what people perhaps had never seen before can be seen to know what's possible.
That's Kamala just piping in about the new studio.
Yeah, it can't be seen. It's behind me in this dark abyss.
And for Bell's bad internet connection.
Don't get bogged down by all the haters out there.
All right, should we get out of here?
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tell the people where they can find us, Corey.
Okay. The Absurdive Podcast is found on all social media and podcast platforms. Our website is absurdiveshow.com. We can be found at Libservative on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Instagram and Twitter at LibServativePod. Our TikTok videos can be found at Libservative Podcast. And you can reach out directly at libservativepod@gmail.com. Subscribe today.
Yeah. And don't forget to tune in sometime early next week. We'll have the do we call it an interview? I don't think it's an interview. We more have like discussions on this show. So our discussions, conversations with Joshua Ferguson from the Hourly Struggle that we'll be recording tomorrow night. And assuming he doesn't bail on us, but he seems like a decent guy. I don't think
you probably would after you heard this episode.
We need somebody to write this listing ship. And hopefully Joshua can do that for us. But anyway, yeah, tell a friend you like the episode, send it over to him. Word of mouth helps. And for Bell the Bodysnatcher on the ones and twos, he as always has been Corey Walsh.
And he's Dan Griffin. And Bell.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's been Libservative. And until next time, we are
Communism's the gayest shit ever.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back. Somebody must lead, or else the fight would not be made at all.